Good afternoon. This is TerrenceRe. Got a stock market update for you. Gonna go over some analysis. We're gonna talk a little CSCO, unusual options. Gonna talk about a little bit of Moderna, reacting, to some news, and we'll go over a trade that I put on in Moderna, and we'll talk about uh, maybe what the market is showing versus what is being said on TV. All of that right after the buffer. So right now we got the S&P futures pulled up almost 0.5% on the day. We got the Nasdaq futures up about 0.5%. Dow futures over here up about, I don't know, 0.19%, basically flat. Russell futures are up a little bit more than the rest. They're up almost 0.75%. We got the bonds are up. The notes are up. We got oil up, excuse me. Oil is up almost 3%. And gold is relatively flat. We got Bitcoin futures are up. We even got the dollar index up a little bit. And I just, whenever I get ready to do the video, then I'll run through everything. And I happen to look at oil because I really don't look at oil on a regular basis. But just looking at it, like making this move right here, like a little pop, maybe it could be making a turn. Now, I don't have any. Let's put some stuff on the chart real quick because this isn't what I was intending to be looking at. But let's see. So it's possible that if we look at it right here, that this, if we look at the RSI down at the bottom, that maybe from here, you can see how the RSI is turning up right there on the bottom down there. And you can see how, as far as we draw a trend line here, it made a lower low, but the RSI made a higher high, or a higher low down here. So low, this low is higher, but then this low was lower than this one. So that could signal a reversal. So that may be bullish for oil. So I just seen that. And that's pretty much something like that. It could be a trade setup. Now, if you didn't want to trade the oil futures, you could look at that and then maybe come over to USO and then trade the USO, right? And then as you can see, we got like a little channel right here. Got an IV rank of 37. So you could come in here and do something like maybe sell a put spread. If I did trade this, I would go 29 days, maybe come to the 37 delta. Let's see, sell the 72, maybe buy the 67, collect the $1.36 premium. It's not bad. It's not bad. Got an expected move of $8. If you sell in the 37 delta, probably got, it's not bad. So that's a possible trade. I may look at that later on after I get done with the show. So let's global risk, but charts reflecting possible breakout. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So of course we see all the risks in the world in general. We got monkeypox. You still got some different variations of COVID, which I'm gonna go over a little bit later. And then you got a possible, escalation with China and Taiwan. And of course, you still got Russia and Ukraine going on. So those things, you would think with all of that risk out there, the VIX has been steady falling, right? So look at the VIX, which the VIX is measuring the volatility of the option market for the S&P 500, so the SPX in particular. And with the VIX falling, it's almost like the market is not factoring in that risk. So it's not telling us that, hey, the market isn't seeing that risk, or it's pricing in what it sees. So you can look at that one or two ways. You could say, with vol really low, would you be a buyer of options? Um, and also, or you could be, but also another way of looking at it is, could we be setting ourselves up for like a possible black swan? And what I mean, like, whatever, it's what you don't see that gets you in the markets, because it looks like everything is priced in this market. That's why we got this rally, in my opinion. It priced in the down move, and the market is doing a great job of pricing in everything else, which is why we see, this is the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500. We see the market continuing to make highs, um, and continuing to explode up. Now we see right now we're currently in an overbought range right here at it. It actually was overbought here, pulled down, and you can see we got this trend line right here at the top. I just think that at this point, we're poised to break out here. It may chop here, it may even get a little pullback, but at some point, I think that we'll break out of here and maybe make some more highs, unless something happens that we don't see, because the market has everything else. Um, it seems like already calculated into the moves. It's all priced in. So, but I see a breakout, right? So I see a breakout, but we got all this news out here that says that our market should not. We got, even though inflation came down, the inflation print, I think it was 8.5% for the I think they call it the CPI. So I do think that, even though, and I think like previously it was 9.1, so it came down, but that's still like crazy high. And if you out buying groceries or buying anything at this point, the prices on everything is still high. So even with high prints, it's almost like the market is discounting everything. Like, it's discounting high inflation, it's discounting war risk, it's discounting like plagues and pandemics. Like, it's saying it don't care about monkeypox, it don't care about any of that, and it's just going to continue to go high. That's what it's showing. So, it's almost, and that's why I have the philosophy of trade what I see, right? So, and then I'll get to, we might as well go ahead and talk about Moderna and segue into that, right? The Biden administration plans for end of COVID-19 shot, per the Wall Street Journal. Let me see if I can pull up Moderna, and then I'll show you. We'll let's go 6 months, blow this up. And so if you look right up here, I'm highlighting it at 12 o'clock noon, per the Wall Street Journal, but the Biden administration plans for end of COVID-19 shot. And you can see shares of vaccine companies are trading lower on continued weakness following news the Biden administration could stop buying COVID-19 vaccines. And then you can see, then the news is continuing to roll out. U.S. plans reduce roll and distributed COVID vaccines. So if you're looking at like a company like Moderna, which has, profited from, from the onset of the pandemic, they've been making money. Now, this is just a 6-month chart, but if we go out, let's go out 3 years. And if you go all the way back in here, now we're looking at 3 years. Look at all of this. It got all the way up to almost $500. That was August. Looks like that was August of 2021, right in here. And then you can see, then it began its down move, I guess, as people, as we started to come or transition, toward coming out of the pandemic. And now here we are over here where you think, well, okay, it's made its lows. That's it. You got a little pop right here. And it's like, okay, we got that pop. And let's see, just looking at the chart. So you got that pop, took out this area right here. And then now we got this move over here where we got a high and then you got a low and then you took out that low. So you made a lower low. And now this is where we are. So all I did was I came in here, I seen this, I said, I'm gonna take this shot now. It's below the RSI. I do think it got a little bit more room to run on the daily of the RSI. I'm looking at the MACD right here. It's accelerating to the downside. We even got divergence on the MACD. So if you look in, that's one of the triggers for me. Now I could be in this a little late, but that's okay. You see that divergence? And then if you come here, you're gonna have some divergence here, right? So though that's what I look for. And then I got my bear flag. So I got my divergence here between that and the MACD, right? And so with that, we got a low pullback and a break to the bottom side. I got my bear flag here. So this would be my bear flag. It now I'm looking for this third level on my Fibonacci expansion, and I got an alert to set it at 137. So basically I came over here. Let's take a look at the trade tab, and you can see where I have a position on in Moderna. I went out about 43 days. So I went into the weekly expiration. Now I'm gonna show you this. This looks like the implied volatility is 63, but the IV percentile is only 12%. So it's still relatively, the IV rank is, or IV percentile is low. So I bought a put spread. Let's go back to the 43 days. And now I normally, I don't recommend anybody else doing this. This is a low probability trade. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm doing this based off of my technical analysis. Now it does have an expected move within this time frame of $24. $24 expected move will put it down around 126 from here, and it will put it up to 174 from here. So you can go anywhere within that range. So basically, I bought the 140 and sold the 135. I sold the strike where I'm selling is right at where I think it can get to. I think I paid 170 for the trade. And that's that. And so I'm going to try to ping that. Now that's a $5 wide spread. So I'm paying 170. That means that I can make 330, right? And that's a little bit different from what I normally do. But I was working around messing with trades, like how to get short. I didn't want to sell. If I wanted to, I didn't want to sell going into this. It's already down. I didn't want to sell an option because for me to sell an option, I want to be up here and I wouldn't be able to collect that much premium because it has a low IV rank. Generally, I have low IV rank. I have something below 30. I'm looking to buy the option and get directional. And so that's what I did. So we're going to see how that plays out. What else was on the docket that I wanted to talk about? I also want to talk about CSCO, unusual option activity in CSCO. Let's pull it up and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. And looking at the chart, it makes sense what I saw. And so if we come over here to the trade tab and we come to 29 days out, you will see right here some heavy trade activity right here. About 5,000 of these options came in at once right here at this today. That's why you see volume. That's what was traded today. Open interest would be what was already in before today. So you would see now they could be closing this out, possibly closing. They could be closing, but also you got high open interest here at 45. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe they sold. Maybe it was a put. I'm not quite sure what they did, but it's a lot of activity right here. And when I looked at the news flash for Cisco, let's see if I can go back because it was earlier. You can see it says big delta trade. So they sold 6,045, sold 6,000 at the 50, and these are all on the call side. If I'm looking at this chart right here, here we are at 50 bucks, and you see it's almost like it just stopped right here. So this particular, if we're looking at, now what I did was I put my fibs on from the high down here to the low. We're right here at the sweet spot. Like this area, this 38.2 retracement and 61.8 Fibonacci levels are key levels for the Fibonacci retracement. For me, I generally look to, if you're going to get a reverse, or you generally get some chop when it hits here. You get a little pullback, or if you're going to get a reversal, it will happen around in this area. If we go back and look at the Moderna, you'll see the same thing on a smaller time frame. Let's look at Moderna. You see right here, it pulled right back to the 38.2% level and then broke down. So my theory is over here with Cisco, and Cisco is making this move. You say, well, why Cisco? I don't know what to talk about Cisco. It had earnings, and their earnings were better than expected. And basically, some of the news out on, let's see, on Moderna is they, if I can find it, basically, in their earnings call, they don't see a recession. So, they are, and they're experiencing some pretty good. They had a pretty good quarter. So, with that being said, it just looks like that's why you got this gap up. This is a big move for a stock like this. For a stock that's only $49 stock, to make this type of jump, that's a big move. Right now, it's currently up 5% on the day. It's a big move for a daily move. So, with the high trading volume right here, 50 bucks, I almost look for it, and also with it being oversold on the, overbought on the RSI, I expect a pullback, maybe within the next day or so. And then you may get a higher move to the upside, but I do expect a pullback. So you don't necessarily have to chase this. You may get an opportunity to buy into it on the pullback. And I really wasn't going to talk about Bed Bath & Beyond, but might as well talk about it. Look at the chart anyway, since everybody's trading. I looked at it, and I actually thought about getting in it, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I was looking at it. I looked at it yesterday, like right here. And I was like, I know good and well at some point it's going to pull back. And that's what you got. So you have an opportunity, if you want, to get into it. Now, this is something that's not trading on, it can't be trading on any fundamentals. So if you're trading this, you're just day trading, you're doing a little bit of, you're having some fun. I'm not gonna say you gambling, because you could be someone that's watching this on an intraday level and you're trading it. Like, they'll say on TV, certain shows that, hey, try to criticize and say you gambling. But if you're looking at a chart, if you've been watching this, you've seen it gap here, like it gap here. So here, this would have been, your level, and it gapped up and ran up. So you bought into it back. What date is this? This is August 5th. So if you bought in here on August 5th and you held, and boom, you got another big move. So there are people that'll say that it's gambling. I don't think it's necessarily that you just gambling while you if you're watching this is your strategy and that's how you're trading it. So, but then again, trading can be compared to gambling anyway. That's a whole nother topic. Um, and so here's the news. This is the major news right here. You got and I don't think you guys can see it because it's open up in another screen, but I'll just says Bed Bath and Beyond slides on billionaire stock dump. That's what that news says right there. I'll highlight it, it'll pop up. So basically, I think they're talking about Ryan Cohen. And so people are upset saying that Ryan Cohen, this is not me, I'm just reading. There are people upset saying that he used it. If I highlight it, let me see. Exclusive strategist says meme stock hero Ryan Cohen used retail investors to pump extremely underwater Bed Bath and Beyond position. So basically what they're saying that he had a position, an existing position, and then he like what's the term? What I want to he voiced that position, like he talked his book, and then by talking his book, um retail investors come in and then get behind him and then pump the stock. Then he gets out. And they call that a classic pump and dump. So I think at some point the SEC is gonna have to they're gonna look into it. I don't think they should. I mean, look, if you're gonna listen to if you get him, you're gonna have to get Elon Musk, you have to get a lot of people. I mean, then where does it stop? Because I'm showing you guys trades that I'm putting on. Someone could say that I'm trying to get people to get into the market so that I can move the market. You could say that. I'm not doing that. I like to show my trades to provide valuable content as opposed there are some people that'll come on and then they'll talk about trading and then they'll never show you anything, don't pull the trigger, you know, charging, thousands of dollars to, for information that is readily available on YouTube, on the internet, anywhere, right? And so that's why I do it. But I think that eventually, at some point, the SEC's hands may be forced. I just don't know how you regulate it, though. I don't know how you stop people from talking about stocks. In his case, and that's the Bell. In his case, talking about his position, and then stopping people from following that position. I don't know what you do, right? Because you could make the argument that networks like Fox Business or CNBC, and they come on, I watch the halftime report, just about every day when I can catch it. And they come on and they'll talk their book. And I like for them to talk their book. A lot of times when I hear that, then I'll go look at the stock that they're talking about because sometimes it be stocks that I never heard of. So you just gotta be, when you see something like this, you have to understand that at some point it's gonna pull back. Take your profits. And then you don't have to rush into a trade like this. Something like this, you know, and if you do, you trade small. If you want to chase the top, you better trade small and be able to deal with the pullback, be able to deal with the drawdown. Finally, I do want to take a look at Apple, because they were talking about Apple today at the halftime on the halftime show. And if we just look at, I'll pull out a yearly, and you can see Apple is attacking. Like here's the high at 182, and it's at 174. So Apple is making that move to take out. It's right up now. It's right up against some resistance. You can see right here from this point to this point, this line drawn all the way across. You can see it's right there, and also it is overbought currently. So you got to be careful right here if you're in Apple like me. Now, if you're a long-term investor, then that's something different. You can sit in this, um, and and just hold it, right? But me, I'm a trader, so once I'm up into this range, I'm looking to take profit. Or if you own shares, you sell calls against those opening shares, something like that to kind of reduce your cost basis, right? You can still keep it, hold the stock, because I think Apple does pay a dividend. Let's look and see. Yeah, it does. A quarterly dividend of 23 cents. So you can, something like this, you may think that it has more upside, and it probably does. So I would still be looking to do something like sell a call against it. Me was something that I would like to do if I own Apple. What I would do, I'll come down here maybe 29 days out. I will stay in the September expiration, and you could sell the 80 calls, right? You could come right here and sell the 80 calls or sell the 18. The 18 delta. When I'm the number, this is 32 delta, right? Sell that. That's still a nice little juicy premium right there, 229. Or sell the 18 delta. Probably won't get hit on that. It only has an expected move of $10. So $10 from here would be like 185. So that's putting you right there at the expected move. So that's something that I would do to reduce my cost basis on a stock like that if I didn't just sell out of the position and look to get back in maybe around this area. So you have this gap right here. So this wouldn't be a bad place to try to look for some support. If it pulls back, this would be the level where I would think that right around 160 would be the area for me where I would think that support would be. It's not. Why you ain't moving? Right around in that range. So with that, with tomorrow, let's take a look at the forward outlook for tomorrow. I'm gonna look at the SPX and I'm gonna look at the 1-day expected move as soon as it comes up. There we go. So tomorrow, which will be the 19th, we have a $35 expected move on the SPX. So that's gonna put us, what would that put us? $35, and we're at 42.83. What is that? 43. I don't know, somewhere right around here. So it's not saying that it's gonna take out this high as far as the expected move goes. The high is at, why ain't it showing it? So the high, yeah, there we go. The high is right around 43.25. That's about $42 away. So $35. So it's not expected to take that high out tomorrow. So more than likely we'll get some chop right around in here. And this trend line right here, unless we get some overnight news, let's take a look at this trend line right here will probably hold. No guarantee, but if I was doing some day trading tomorrow, which I might do, if I was gonna do like a intraday trade, I'd probably be selling some stuff. I'd be trying to get short probably. That's my bet for tomorrow. So with that, guys, remember, trying to get this channel up, get it up in subscribers and views. So I'd appreciate if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the video. Got any ideas, got any stocks that you want to see me look up, drop them in the comments section below. And with that, I am out, man. Peace.